Welcome to the channel. If you're fascinated by the raw, unfiltered truth of history, the kind your textbooks skip, and you enjoy drifting to sleep while uncovering the past, you're in the right place. Take a moment to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and settle into a cozy position. Let your eyes grow heavy as we time travel to one of the most complex, brutal, yet captivating chapters in human history. Tonight we drift through the glittering streets and shadowy alleys of Constantinople, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, during the reign of Emperor Justinian the Great. Forget the romanticized tales of emperors and golden crowns, scholars debating under marble domes or endless feasts. The reality? Far grittier. The Byzantine Empire was a swirling cauldron of power, poverty, plague, politics, and quiet survival. For the next 65 minutes, you'll walk in the worn sandals of Andreas, a humble craftsman living in Constantinople in the year 540 AD. Through his eyes, you'll experience the sights, sounds, and brutal truths of life under Justinian, the builder of Hagia Sophia, the codifier of Roman law, the survivor of the deadliest pandemic the ancient world had seen, the Plague of Justinian. Let your body relax, your breathing slow, the journey begins. The narrow streets of Constantinople reek of last night's wine, rotting vegetables, and the sour tang of human waste. But the city never truly sleeps. Even before the sun peeks over the Marmara Sea, the capital of the Byzantine world stirs. Inside a cramped tenement near the Theodosian walls, Andreas wakes, not to birdsong, but to the low murmur of priests chanting matins and the faint creaking of wooden carts. Andreas is a mosaic artisan, not one of the famous masters who adorn imperial chapels, but a laborer, a grinder of stones, a hauler of buckets, one of the thousands who make Constantinople glitter without ever tasting its luxury. His room is barely wider than his outstretched arms. Cracked plaster walls, a straw-stuffed mattress, a flickering clay lamp, his only possessions. The air is thick with smoke from last night's coals and the lingering scent of boiled lentils. Andreas pulls on his coarse wool tunic, cinches a rope belt around his waist, and steps outside, careful to avoid the sewage trickling along the gutter. The city is already alive. Vendors mutter their wares: fish, figs, oil, bread, while donkeys laden with amphorae clatter down uneven stones. The distant echo of the hippodrome stirs, where chariot teams practice before the day's races. Byzantium awakens. And like every day, it promises opportunity and danger. Subtle workshop ambiance, grinding stone, distant hammer strikes, soft market chatter. Andreas's workshop lies near the church of Saints Sergius and Bacchus, one of many grand basilicas that pierce the city skyline with their domes and crosses. Justinian's building frenzy keeps artisans busy, but work is never guaranteed. Today, Andreas grinds glass tesserae, the tiny colored cubes that form intricate mosaics on church walls and imperial buildings. His hands are rough, his back perpetually sore, but compared to dock workers or poor farmers, he's fortunate. While he works, rumors swirl. The Persians mass on the eastern frontier, mutters a potter. Another tax on olive oil, grumbles a baker. The Empress Theodora once danced the stage, whispers an old woman, scandalized and awed. Andreas says nothing. Loose tongues invite trouble. But beneath the daily grind, something darker brews. Talk of sickness creeping in from Egypt. A plague, they say, carried by ships and rats, spreading death like wildfire. Andreas shrugs it off. Constantinople always teeters on disaster's edge, but this time, it may fall. By midday, Andreas finds himself near the hippodrome, that colossal arena dominating the city's heart. Though the races aren't yet underway, the blue and green factions, political gangs disguised as chariot fans, already prowl the streets. It's been years since the Nika riots, but their scars remain. Andreas remembers the flames devouring Hagia Sophia's first incarnation, the howls of rebels and soldiers, the slaughter in the hippodrome, where Justinian's generals butchered tens of thousands. Some called it justice, others a massacre. Andreas, he survived. In Constantinople, that counts as victory. The factions still hold power. Their graffiti mars alleys. Their threats haunt daily life. but most, like Andreas, keep their heads down. The empire may glitter, but beneath gold and marble lie fear, and now, disease. The rumors grow louder. First, a merchant's wife falls ill, fever, swellings in the neck, death within days. Then a sailor, his body blackened by strange sores. The priests say it's God's punishment. The doctors, those who remain, offer only leeches and prayers. Andreas watches as doors are marked, as neighbors vanish, as funeral processions become daily parades of grief. The Plague of Justinian has arrived, and the city, vast, proud, layered with history, begins to rot from within. The sun sets, but sleep doesn't come easily. Constantinople is quieter now. Markets empty, streets deserted. The once vibrant taverns closed, theaters abandoned. Andreas lies awake, listening to the creak of beams, the scratch of rats, the coughs from neighboring rooms. His belly aches from hunger, his heart from fear. Outside, plague carts rattle through the streets. Hooded men collect the dead by torchlight. Priests murmur prayers. Some cry, some simply endure. The empire feels fragile, but morning will come, and with it the stubborn, imperfect, quietly heroic survival of its people. Weeks pass. The air grows heavier. Constantinople's bustling markets now echo with absence. Streets that once overflowed with merchants, beggars, and bureaucrats stand eerily silent. Andreas works when he can, but commissions dry up. Who needs mosaics when death knocks at every door? Bread grows scarce, grain shipments delayed by quarantines and fear. Andreas' ribs show beneath his tunic. His neighbor's eyes grow hollow, but even amid grief, small acts of defiance bloom. A neighbor leaves bread at a sick family's door. Priests continue prayers in empty churches. Children, too young to understand the weight of loss, chase each other through deserted lanes. Life flickers, fragile, defiant. The Plague of Justinian would eventually fade. Constantinople would bury its dead, cleanse its streets, and rebuild. Andreas, like countless forgotten souls, would endure, not for glory, not for riches, but for the quiet, stubborn act of survival. So, tonight, as you drift into sleep, know that history isn't only written by emperors and generals. It's carved in the weary footsteps of those like Andreas, the nameless millions who lived, struggled, and carried civilization forward. Rest well, traveler. The empire may fall, but humanity always endures. As we leave the worn streets of ancient Constantinople behind, allow yourself to sink deeper into calm. Thank you for wandering through history with us tonight. If you enjoyed this gentle journey, where the past unfolds like a forgotten dream, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us craft more peaceful, immersive stories to ease your mind and guide you to restful sleep. And now, as you drift off, let the worries of the day fade. For the next 5 to 10 minutes, there will be no words. Only the soft hum of distant waves, the flicker of imagined candlelight, and the quiet lull of music, just enough to carry you into dreams. Rest well, traveler. We'll meet again, in another time, another story.